I'm Prime. Big Titty Shark Lady currently doesn't have a name. She has existed for less than a day. And my characters have to exist at least a month before I can settle on a name for them. Mostly because I don't remember names in the best of times, let alone my own characters' names. But yesterday I said that you couldn't have a shark. No, you couldn't have a mermaid series without having a shark mermaid, at least with when I'm doing them, since I'm doing them with sharp teeth. So she just came along earlier than I expected. A couple days ago, I drew the orca, and for her I tried giving her a longer face shape to emulate the orca head. This time I tried keeping her head more square, but giving her a larger nose, and I think it worked. She does have, the excessive amount of teeth that sharks have. The extra amount. She's never going to run out of teeth. That is a fact. I also wanted to make sure to... I wanted to show her gills, but her neck isn't visible from this angle. So instead of putting the gills on her neck, I put them on her shoulders, and she probably has some on her neck. I don't know if that would actually work, but for this illustration's purposes, it is going to be working. I wanted to showcase her tail, at least how the tail works, because dolphin tails go up and down and shark tails go side to side. In other words, dolphins twerk and sharks floss. So I wanted to be able to show that, and I had this idea in my head that she's coming towards camera, so I wanted to be able to illustrate that properly. I should stop messing with my hair. And what did I do? I gave her some tail tattoos, mostly because I thought it made the tail look a bit interesting, and a few scars here and there. She's a shark. Not all sharks have scars, but I decided to give her some because the Wizard of Oz. Like the orca, I'm going to have her back color go over her shoulders a bit. My brain just shut off there. This was another one where I thought I knew what I was doing until I got about halfway and realized, wait, what are shark eyes anyway? What do they do? What color are they? Google Images. Just saying they're black doesn't help. They obviously have other underneath that layer. Thank you. Oh, blue. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. So the video hasn't gotten to that point. I'm still trying to figure out if the tail is correct or not. Actually, while I was looking for the eyes, I found that the tail had a little triangular bit, so I added that in. And I also added the darker layer in front of the eyes, so the blue eyes are there, and the darker layer, I don't know what it's called. I did well in science, but I forgot everything that I learned in school. wasn't quite sure how to do the scars that were on the back of her tail. I think I scrapped those in the end anyway. Also, she is able to do the shark thing where her eyes roll up in their sockets. I'm basing her off of a white shark. I do plan on trying to draw like a mer person that's based on a hammer shark. It's just, I'm trying to figure out what would the skull look like for that, because it's their skull that pushes the eye, that makes the shape. So I'm like, how do I make a human skull turn into, how do I merge a human skull and a skull that looks like a hammer and side eyes? But in the sketch, her eyes were further to the side, and then I changed that because it kind of looked a bit, it didn't look quite right. I'm simultaneously trying to figure out the lighting here, because I know where the light is supposed to be coming from. The question is, will I be sticking to how the light is supposed to be working by the end of the actual drawing? Because it seems like half of the time I decide, yes, the light is coming from this side, at this angle, from here. And then I actually finish the shading and lighting, and I'm like, so we apparently didn't stick to that because it didn't look nice enough. We just went, this looks good, and this technically would be kind of coming from here, so just shift the light a bit, and then we get to the actual shading part. No, not the shading part. The part where I have to draw in where the light would be coming and how the background or foreground or both would be lit. And then we're like, okay, I need to fix you now because things aren't working as planned. I'm also trying to figure out how old is the scar per scar? And yeah, what type of scar, what's going on, how is it? I wanted to make sure the underbelly was still, obviously a lighter color, but also it's the underbelly and the light is coming from above since she is close to the surface. So that was a pain to figure out. I need to stop overpronouncing my p's because that's making the mic peak. I know you don't peak if I'm this far away, but you barely, you kind of pick up. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm talking to myself. I gave her short hair because I didn't want to have to deal with figuring out how long hair would work from this angle, 1. 2, I wanted to make sure that the back, the back fin, is it a fin? I'm gonna call it a fin. The thing that everyone is scared of and makes the do noise when she's swimming when sharks start swimming towards you, because that's the only bit that you can see. I wanted that to be able to show. This also kind of gave me an excuse not to draw arms, although that wasn't the point. But it did give me an excuse it did give me a chance not to have to draw the awkward line that I apparently struggled to draw. But yeah, this was an odd angle, but a few sketches in the good old sketchbook fixed it. I'm experimenting with she kind of looked a tad dull before, so I'm experimenting with how to incorporate the fact that she's underwater and that there's going to be a difference between her above water and underwater. So I'm playing around with some layers and types of layers, the opacity of the layers, and just how they're blending together. Blending options, that's the word I'm looking for. So she looks up, so the colors end up having a bit more of a bluish hue to them than from the very beginning, which makes sense because she's underwater. Well, bluish green. Not all water is blue, and I like how the water, like the colors of the water are. But then I had to figure out, wait, what's the background doing then? This is the water, but what's the background doing? Which kind of also turned out had a lot of blue in it. Which at the time, I wasn't so sure about, but just kind of went with. It was pale on pale. And I think I'm just used to having a lot of contrast with things because I like working with darker colors. So I can add a lot more contrast with the lighting. But after leaving it on its own for a few days and coming back to it, I think I like it. That's what happens. I leave things on their, I finish and then don't look at them again for a while. And if I don't like them, generally when I look at them again, I like them more. Or I come back to them, to something that I liked, and then I think, well, this isn't any good now, is it? Why did you like it? So, growth. I forget what was bad in one drawing and figure out and start seeing the good pieces in it, and then I see, oh, these are all the mistakes I made here. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Have a good day.